All right. Do you see it? I'm sure Amy's here and we'll be sharing it on the personal page too. But all right, you guys, welcome to Coffee is for Closers. This is episode number 39, I think. Yep, we've been doing this for 39 weeks, and I have made a commitment that I'm just going to keep doing it. So maybe when we get to episode 200 or something, I'll take a break. But for right now, it's fun. And I've had a lot of good feedback that I guess this is really helpful to you too. So if you have questions, you guys know the drill. Just put them in the comments below. And today we have a very special guest. She is like a resident DJ, but we don't have DJs on Coffee is for Closers. So she's a resident guest, just a resident G.
Resident G.
A resident G. She is a resident G. Her name is Shameca, and she's cool like me. So we finally get to meet in person next week because we're doing this event called the New Media Summit. And, hi, Aileen. And, Shameca's cool because she also focuses with people that, really want to sell high value services, aka high ticket offers, aka expensive services, and get really paid a lot of money and work with higher quality people than quantity. So we have the same beliefs around that, and we do similar type work, but we always have our own spin on things. And I think Shameca brings a really cool spin, and hopefully you guys learn a lot from her because I always like to know that when we're hanging out, I'm like, okay, so I actually do know what I'm talking about. This is good. This is really good. Like I taught this other thing today, Shameca, at lunchtime. It was like, I don't know if you call it like a lunch and learn. It was a business something. And it was, I called it selling from the heart and, selling from a place of service. And it was like with 10 women, and we went through, all their sales struggles, et cetera, and went through, the pitch queen system. But there was another girl there, and she was also in sales, and she's like, I'm also a sales coach, so hopefully you don't mind that I'm here. I'm like, heck no, more the merrier. And tell me if everything I said was true, just tell everyone at the end that I was on it. She's like, yeah. She sold like timeshares, and she's like, yeah, it's, in that business, people think that you're kind of like a used car salesperson a lot. Probably you get that bad reputation. And she said she did really well for herself, which I am pretty sure she did. You would have never thought she was a salesperson, which is always the best ones, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, back to my point. So welcome, Shameca. It's always an honor to have you here. You put me in a good mood instantly, but today the sun was out, so I was already in a good mood. But hopefully everyone has their beverage of choice. So mine is water, and I forgot my green juice. My green juice is...
I just finished a fresh pressed juice.
Really?
Pineapple, orange, mango, apple, passion fruit, and coconut water.
Yum. Okay, I'm going to get my green juice because I brought a different kind of coffee for Coffee is for Closers, and it's called green coffee. Because green juice gives you energy, right? Just like a lot of people drink coffee because it gives us energy. All right, let's get back to the program here.
Yes,
so we need to get started. So this is Coffee is for Closers, episode number 39. And today we are talking about how and why maybe you should stop talking yourself out of sales and why it happens. And I think a lot of people that I've met actually do this quite a bit. I don't know, Shameca, if you've run into this too, but I feel like a lot of people end up talking themselves out of their own sales. So that is our conversation for today. And again, it's always so awesome to have you here. I am going to share my slides with everybody. Again, a technical problem. See? I got my green coffee today. My green juice. This is like super potent. This is about like kale in a cup.
Awesome.
I bet
it tastes really good.
If I have green teeth at the end of this, you know why. So, let me get back to the one. So we are talking about how to stop talking yourself out of sales. That is on the show today. We're going to go over a cup of wisdom, how a special brand of fear affects salespeople. And remember, if we are entrepreneurs, we are full-time sales professionals. how to sell without feeling sleazy, and I like to always add pushy in other ways, and why rejection isn't as scary as it may seem, and how to focus on your client and not your fears. So we've sort of touched on these before, but we're going to touch on them from a different angle, because how does this relate to why you might talk yourself out of working with clients that you really want to help and actually serve?
Cool.
This is Shameca. Yep, that's her. She is a master sales strategist, the creator of Authority Selling Method, a powerful yet simple framework for having conversations that serve and sell, which I love. We use very similar terminology. She is known for her dynamic take action style and priceless straight talk. I thought I was pretty to the point. I think she's taken it a whole other level. And you really do, by the way. And she empowers clients all over the globe to set fire to their fears. We are going to be addressing that today. Ditch the self-doubt and charge more. That means charge more in fees and prices for yourself. So that is all my same lingo, similar, and I love it. So thank you again for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, anytime. And by the way, are we confirmed for May?
Yeah. Let's keep doing it.
So Shameca is the resident G on Coffee is for Closers, G meaning guest. And that means that pretty much the first Tuesday of every month that we do this, we're going to hang out and have a conversation of a certain topic. So I've already kind of got May and June figured out, so I'll keep you posted on that. Cool. But let's start by talking a little about how a special brand of fear affects salespeople and entrepreneurs. And remember, for us business owners, entrepreneurs, we are full-time sales people because we have to rely on ourselves to get clients. So, Shameca, what's your take when you hear what is the special brand of fear that affects people or gets in the way? What's that first one that pops up for you?
So I was thinking about this. Because you could have fear of heights, you could have fear of all kinds of outside things. So we were talking about this earlier, and I was like, I don't know what a special brand would be, but this is what it is. I think our fears are mostly internal. They're like our self-talk, our beliefs, right? The things that hold us back, or the stories we make up in our head about what a client is going to say. I think when you're in sales, instead of it being something you're afraid of on the outside, it's coming from within you.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think about that a lot. I literally 30 minutes ago, before we gathered here on the microphones, I had an experience where I could have probably talked myself out of it and let the guy go. But instead, I shift and we probably do this because we've had a lot of experience, but for people listening, you really have to think about, how can you really serve this person? Because if I were to let him go, I would have been doing him a disservice. And, he wanted to wait. And then he told me, well, Michelle, what if we talk tomorrow or the next day? And I told, his name was Roy. I said, Roy, honestly, what's going to change between now, tomorrow, or the next day? You already know what you want to do. If this is something that you truly believe will help you change your business, then, let's do this. If not, then make the decision not to, but don't keep hemming and hawing about, let me wait another day or two to see if something's going to change. Because I think a lot of us do that if we don't want to do something, right? You're like, oh, well, I'll just call you later.
Right.
And then you just disappear. Right? So, yeah, no, it's a special kind of thing that goes on internally in our heads, and then it comes out.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think those things could be three things. It could be your own doubt. So self-doubt about things like, do I really think I could help this client?
Right.
Right. What if I bring them on and they don't get the results? So there's doubts, and then there's limiting beliefs, right? It's maybe you're having a moment where you don't feel like you're good enough because maybe you had a client cancel last year. Right? One client out of all the clients you work with canceled, right? And all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, I suck at what I do. So there could be some limiting beliefs there. And then self-talk. So just your own conversations you're having with yourself in the head about what's going to happen with this particular person. I know people all the time, and this has happened to me too, where I've sometimes gotten intimidated by the client on the other end of the phone, the prospect. It's like, oh my gosh, they're at this level. Can I really help them? And so all this self-talk, this negative self-talk in my own head, like, oh, they could probably find somebody better who could support them. Did you almost drop your juice?
I dropped my juice, you guys.
Oh my God.
It's a hot mess. But Jackie's here and she's going to the rescue. But as long as the laptop survives the green juice explosion that just happened, we're going to be good. Okay, back to the talking ourselves out of the sales, because sometimes we're intimidated. And I think this is a really good topic, very good topic, because a lot of times if you're thinking about how you're not maybe as good as the client sitting in front of you, I think this is a huge topic to discuss, actually. I got green juice all over me. Go ahead.
You look like you I could just see your eyes. I was like, oh my gosh, something just happened. So here's the deal. It's not that you're not good enough, right? Like, you're amazing at what you do. Your skill set is on point. You've probably done clients like that before at some different level. But when you're faced with an opportunity to, like, let's say bring on a billionaire client or a multi-million-dollar client, something happens where you get triggered inside of yourself and it's like, oh my gosh, how can I do this? Right. And then we begin to talk ourselves out of the sale. Like, oh, well, so-and-so would do a better job. Or like for me, oh, they could just go hire Tony Robbins. He's the guru of sales, right? Mindset or whatever. Right. Like, you start thinking of all these people that you don't feel like you measure up to, but the reality of it is you can actually do the job. Yep.
No, and I totally agree. I mean, I even was working with one of my most favorite clients, and his name is, we'll just call him Bob for right now, okay? Because I don't want to give clients' names away. But Bob, he was working with a client that has revenues of 15 times the amount of his. Right? So if his business is doing about $1 million, the client's business was doing 15 million, he needed to up his fees and charge him more. And a lot of it came from exactly what we're talking about, because Bob's client was so much larger. It's like, I would think at times too, it might be easier to charge more if the client's revenues are higher, and, but unfortunately it's a little more difficult when you've been giving them a good deal for too long. And then all of a sudden you come and say, hey, you know what? I've been working with you for quite a while and I've done a lot more services for you. It's time to really match that. And if you look at his services, even as a percent of revenue from Bob to Bob's client, it's like peanuts. Right? Mm-hmm. But in our heads, it's like, oh, this client is so much bigger than us and so much larger of a value client that, oh, I can't do that.
Right.
Right? So, no, it's so interesting. Yeah. Okay, so what have you done, Shameca, when you've been in that situation to stop the chatter, to actually work with a client of that kind of caliber?
So now I've gotten to the point where this work happens well before I ever get on the phone with anyone. Mm-hmm. So, if you've been around these calls that we've had, I talk about my 2-hour mindset routine that I do every day, right?
Well, give us a refresher. What was it today? Did it change up a little bit today?
No, I still danced in the shower today. What else did I do? I fed myself because I knew I was going to have a long day without a lot of breaks in between, but mostly it was my shower dancing. So I just turned on my 90s Spotify station, my 90s hip hop station. Yeah. And just go all the way back to my high school days and just dance in the shower.
Oh, that's so cool.
So that just gets me anchored, right? With, I don't know, just on this vibe of just loving life, so that I'm not thinking about anything else. But that, that routine can change up. I can do journaling. I can listen to my affirmations, different things.
Yeah. I start just real quick. I downloaded Amazon Prime Music because I guess you get free music, and someone just told me about that. So I've been listening to music while I take a shower, and that's inspired by you.
That's so cool. So now I know people are in their showers everywhere, all over America, dancing.
Because of you. So anyway, back to how you get yourself confident enough to work with a client of greater scale than you think you are.
So the other thing is like right before the call, really anchoring in value. So, okay, let me forget right before the call. So the mindset stuff, this stuff is happening all the time. And then that list of like, here's all your badassness on the list. Like, this is what you've been able to do in your life. Like, I've helped a client create over $300,000 in a weekend, right? Just so many different things that I can list out that I've been able to do.
Yeah.
And so, when you have that, you can keep going back to it to anchor in the fact that like you're really good, you get results, like it doesn't matter. And these people can be, have businesses that are at a higher level than yours at this time, but they still need your skill set, right? So having that stuff, like just anchored in on a regular basis that I can go to, client case studies, notes that they send me that says, like, I got a note today. Super amazing note. I'm about to take a clip of it. Somebody's like, yeah, so like you helped me find $18,000 more per client this year. So that means like it was in 30 minutes. Your return on investment your ROI is $600 per minute, right?
Wow.
I'm like, all right, let me clip that and put it in my Bragg's book, right? So I can look at that and go, you know what? This is what you do.
Do you look at that or have it in front of you all time, all day, at all times?
Not as much as I used to, because it's kind of anchored like, you know, your stuff, girl. But I have a book that I do keep that I can go through like in those moments where I am feeling like, maybe you don't know what you're doing. Like you have days, right?
Yeah.
We all just talk ourselves out of all kinds of stuff. And then I'll look at that and go, wow, I forgot about that. I totally forgot this happened. I forgot that, you know, I spent 30 minutes with a client and then they were able to create this, right?
Yep.
So it's a book that I have that just any notes, letters that my clients have sent me. I grab screenshots from Facebook when people post, you know, celebrations about something that they've implemented that I've taught them. So you can do that as well. You like to everyone who's listening, that's something that you can do as well. So I have those things, but then right before the call, if I notice that there's a little bit of a like, I don't know, a issue that I'm having with worthiness to have a client or to receive them investing in me because of the level, it's a big project, it's a big client, big name, something like that, then I take some moments and I just, you know, really just anchor in the fact that they're getting on the phone with me. They wouldn't waste their time, right? If they didn't think I had the goods, they wouldn't be here.
Yeah, no, so it's so true.
Reminding yourself of that is like the biggest thing. You wouldn't have the opportunity if you weren't capable.
Yeah, and I call it an acknowledgement folder, but I take screenshots of emails and text messages and Facebook posts or LinkedIn messages that I get, and I just save them in there so you can remind yourself. So yeah, brag book, acknowledgement folder, but you know, I think that's really huge because even like we're human too, and even Shameca and I have these same problems sometimes before we are about to work with a really large client, or maybe before, you know, someone I'm about to interview right here on the podcast too, on Success Unfiltered for the Wednesday episodes. It's like, man, I'm really getting to interview this person. Like, so I guess what? I booked, Kevin Harrington. He's my first Shark Tank, you know, cause my mission is to get all the sharks on one day. So yeah, like, you know, before I do that interview, I have to get my mind right. So it's not any different if you're about to work with a client or something like that. Okay, cool. I have another question. Another topic for today is really about how do you sell without feeling salesy, right? And how do we sell and not talk ourselves out of the sale because we're thinking we're going to be salesy or pushy? And literally at this lunch thing I just did, I had a conversation on this, but I want to hear your take first.
So here's my take on that. Anybody who's thinking about being salesy or pushy, and you guys probably aren't going to like this. Remember, I'm a straight talker. It's because you probably are salesy and pushy. So here's the deal. Sales is not about you. And most people who are concerned about it also are concerned about it because they have a desire to serve. They have a desire to help, right? And they don't want to be seen as somebody who just wants to take advantage of someone because sales has got a bad rap, right? Mm-hmm. So we just have to let that go, because when you're worried about whether or not you're going to be salesy or pushy, you can't be of service. You're not paying attention, right? And you likely probably are going to be salesy and pushy. But at that moment, you're exactly what you don't want to be, and that is self-centered. You're focused on you.
Self-centered. We have not talked about this yet. Okay, this is getting good, you guys. If
So
you're salesy, you're probably a little self-centered.
Yeah. You're a lot of self-centered because it's all about you. It's like, oh, what are they going to think about me? Oh, they're going to think I'm just trying to sell them something. Well, you are. It's a sales conversation, right? You want to help them. They're going to have to make an investment.
Yep.
And you just have to look at it differently. It's a mutual fit conversation. You're getting on the call with them to see what do they desire? Where are they trying to go? Right. And can you actually help them get there? You haven't decided that yet. You may or may not make an offer. Now, if you're making an offer to everybody who gets on the phone with you, just because that's what you think you're there to do, you're probably not doing something right.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
Or you have an amazing pre-process that pre-screens and you're only getting on the phone with highly qualified prospects. It's either one or the other, right?
Totally.
But the way that you're not being salesy is that you literally come to the conversation letting go of whether or not they're going to say yes or no to an offer, not knowing if you're going to make an offer to them at all. Like you fully well know that you're just trying to see, like based on what they tell you.
Right.
Can I truly support you in getting what it is that you desire to have?
Right. And if you have the confidence because you watched or looked at your acknowledgement folder or your brag book, then you should have the confidence to not talk yourself out of it after you confirm that you are the one to help them.
Yes.
Right?
And the talking out of it part is, again, it's self-centeredness. You get nervous and you just start rambling about, like people say their prices, right? They're like, it's $10,000, investment to work with me. And you get X, Y, Z, and then I'm going to throw in a this or that. And they don't even give the person the opportunity to breathe and take in the price point. Like there should be so much space at that moment to allow them to process. But when we get self-centered, we get nervous.
Yep.
And we feel like we have something to prove that it's worth it, the value's there, that they would be out of their mind to not take it. All of these conversations we're having with ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Our own self-talk has nothing to do with the prospect on the other end. Nope. We begin to talk ourselves out of the sale.
This is getting really good, Shameca. So yes, self-centered is, I think, the root cause of the problem if you think you are being salesy or pushy. And it's almost like you need to take a peek in the mirror for a minute and self-reflect.
Yes.
Right? Because that's like what it is. I always talk about like in the pitch queen system, the I means it's not about you. That's what the I stands for. And so, it's totally exactly what you're talking about. And so at this lunch thing, a woman, we're going to call her Beth. Beth helps people figure out, or I think it was like figure out when to leave their relationships because it's not going so well. So like a relationship coach, right? So Beth, at the end of her conversations, doesn't really help the clients make a decision, right? She just is like, well, if they want to think about it, that's okay. I go, but do you understand why they reached out to you in the beginning? Beth, they haven't been able to leave their relationship. Like, they're going to be thinking about your conversation for a long time and stay in that horrible relationship even longer. And that you're actually not even helping them by doing that. And I think, and she was saying, I don't remember the word she used, but she didn't want to be pushy or push them into anything. And I was like, you're not pushing them into anything. But I think it's about her at that point in that she doesn't see that it's actually hurting her client because her client's stuck in a bad relationship. She's been thinking about leaving this person for a really long time and can't do it without some help. Right.
I think also too, it's leaving them in indecision. Right? We've got to let go of whether or not they're going to say yes to your program. And when you feel indecisive, you feel anxious. You're constantly thinking about it. But when you've made a decision, like it's done. It's either a yes or it's a no. Yeah. At least you know where you're going and you can move forward. There's no hung up energy, right? Yeah. Around you or around that issue, and you can move on with your life. As salespeople, and this is everybody, right? Everybody on this call who's a business person who's responsible for their sales and their business, their revenue that comes into their business, you're a salesperson. So as salespeople, it is our responsibility to guide people to a decision.
Yes.
It is a total disservice to leave people in indecision for our own comfort.
Totally. And here's another thing that happened to me, and it completely sucks for people that know me. I had my company Fitzy Foods, right? And it's been dead for a little over a year now. And I've buried it, but now I really put it in the grave because I thought the Fitzy bars were going to continue. But the guy who wanted to invest in the bars and take them over was so indecisive. And I was just like, look, we'll call him Joey. Joey, like, just make a decision. At this point, I was so like, it's been a year, okay? A year going back and forth. Oh, I need another guy. Like, there were 3 guys. Supposedly the money wasn't the issue. But there was something missing, and they finally Friday told me that they are not going to move forward. And I was like, whew, all right, we got to a decision, right? Because being in this indecisive place, and then he said, well, do you want to have a call over the weekend about it? I go, no, there's nothing else to talk about. I appreciate you for making a decision because I was about to make this decision for you. I was like, I'm not letting this go on past a year from when the company died a year ago. So unfortunately, you guys, the Fitzy bars are not coming back to life. I'm super depressed about it, but not too depressed. But if anyone wants the recipes, just let me know. It's expensive, so just shoot me an email. But but yeah, I mean, that's exactly the same thing of indecisiveness, and to live with that as business owners, we need to allow our clients to not feel that way. Because that way sucks.
Right. And yourself. You're thinking, oh, I might possibly have this client. How long do you want that to go on where you're thinking, are they coming back? And this is where you start feeling like pushy, sleazy, because you're like, well, should I follow up? Right. Should I not? And like, let's just get to a decision. I honor and respect people so much who are like, you know what? No, this isn't a good fit for me at this time. I literally send them thank you messages like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for just being upfront and saying, you know what? It's not a good fit. Not, oh, maybe in about 6 months. Like, who wants to feel that energy? The other thing is, like, you got to think about it. You're a solution, right? To the client. This lady that you were talking to at the lunch thingy, right? Right. She was saying she didn't want to be pushy. Right. But the reality of it is that she had a solution that could support this woman who was in turmoil and in pain. And she decided that because of her own feelings, right, to save her own self from feeling a certain way, that it wasn't important for her to throw a lifeline out. You got to be willing to take a stand for your clients. I always tell people I will push, but I will only push so far, but I will take a stand for you and your bigger future, your vision for yourself, whatever you desire to have, I will take a stand. I am willing to be even more uncomfortable than they are in that moment, because trust, they are uncomfortable. Yeah, I know that. So I'm like, let's both get uncomfortable and let's get to the reality of this. What is your decision?
Because at the end, they both lost.
Yes.
So when you see it from that point of view, and what was I naming her? Beth. I think she got like a lot of aha moments today, and I think Beth is going to now see it from a different point of view. Yes. But she didn't throw out, she threw out the lifeline, but accepted I want to think about it, which actually is the exact problem that her client has, because if you're in a bad relationship for a really long time, then you've been thinking about something for quite a while and just can't leave. Right. So I was saying it's like giving crack to a crackhead. That's what I told her. It was like you basically just fed the drug what they wanted, which is what they want to do is think about it. When really the fact that she reached out was like that one time to actually help change this woman's life.
Well, there probably is something more she needed to know. Like, if she said she needed to think about it, there was something mulling around in her mind. And if Beth had pushed just a little bit to say, well, let's talk about it. Let's, you and me, put our heads together. Let's look at where you are and let's talk about what you're thinking about. Because the I need to think about it statement is a catch-all phrase that we all use. Yep. Out of habit when we're in an uncomfortable situation with someone who is trying to sell us something, right? Yep. If you're in the store and you're looking to buy a pair of jeans and the salesperson or the person working in the store comes over and says, "Hi, can I help you find something?" What do you say? very
I say,
quickly.
no, I'm just looking.
I'm just looking. And you're lying because you came there to buy jeans, right? You came to buy jeans. You're looking for them. And then sometimes what happens is as they walk off, you realize, oh my gosh, I really do need you. Wait, come back. Because that response was so on autopilot that you didn't even really think about it. You just responded. So everyone listening, I want you to get this. Most people's autopilot response, for the majority of people, it's, I need to think about it. Send me some paperwork. It's an autopilot response, just like the one we give to the person trying to support us in the store. When we know we possibly need help, we don't even think. We're just like, no, I'm just looking because we don't want to bother them. Whatever thoughts, like it makes us uncomfortable in that moment. The same thing happens in a sales conversation, and you've got to be smarter than that. Be of service to your clients and go, okay, hold on.
Yeah.
You took time to call me. You scheduled a 30-minute consultation with me, right? Yeah. You had to fill out my application, whatever hoops they had to jump through today to meet with you, to talk with you, to do all of this just to not make a decision. Something's not right.
Right? I'm with you. That's my point. That's just like to let them just go and think about it and not try to get to the root cause of why they're saying it. It's like that's our job too.
Yes.
Right? Yes. As a business owner.
Right? Your relationship with the client begins on the sales conversation.
Yeah.
Your job is to help guide them. They told you they wanted to be over here.
Right.
They are over here. During that conversation, you are actually navigating them towards exactly what they said they wanted, and it happens in the sales conversation. So yes, It's our job.
It's our job and it's our duty. Okay. Now that was awesome. Thank you, Shameca.
You're welcome.
I forgot, you guys, that if you have questions, put them in the comments below. Also, if you are on Facebook or wherever you're watching, if you don't mind liking and sharing this, that would be awesome too. We appreciate love and shares and hearts. But we're going to talk about one more topic before we go. And again, today is really all about Terry, why am I the only one here? This is awesome. Well, Terry, let me tell you, Facebook has algorithms, okay? And they don't put this in front of everybody. So that's why we ask people to share it, because that is the only way this will work. So if you think this is amazing and awesome, Shameca and I ask that you just share this. That's all we ask. We have awesome conversations, but unfortunately, I have submitted to be a Facebook creator. So hopefully that this goes on to the video section, because the Facebook told me they wanted to be, instead of TV and TV shows, we have our own show.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yes. Share it, please. Share it out.
So if you guys can all share this, that's the only way it'll spread. I do, boost the post when we're done with this. I'll do it tomorrow, but I don't understand. I don't know. I've been doing this for 39 weeks, and we have not gotten a lot of Facebook love, but we love doing it. So, hey, we're here. Come hang out every single Tuesday at 2 o'clock Pacific. Go to Shameca's page. Go like it, because she does live shows too. And we're going to get to our last topic of hanging out today, but if you have a question, put it below. So, we've already sort of talked about that it's not about us, it's about our clients, but really how to focus on your clients and not your fears will help you not talk yourself out of sales. Right, Shameca? Yeah. So is there anything that you want to add on that topic from your take as to really, what do you do to focus on your clients at the highest, most level? Is there any Shameca secrets that you've got inside your head that you really bring to the table when you're immersed with a client?
The truth is, it's that first statement that we started with. It's not about me, right? Mm-hmm. And yes, I can be, when you think about your selflessness, when you think about when you love someone so much that you don't want them to go through anything that would hurt them or harm them, whether it's your children or a family member, your dog, I don't care what it is, right? You will do anything, right, to get them to see the light at the end of the tunnel, to change their life. And so I've heard people say this before, sales is love. I really just take this standpoint in every conversation that I'm here for your transformation. And I will do everything within my power to get you to the other side. And it's not about me. It's not about whether or not you buy from me, right? It's about you having this desire. For me, my clients want to change the world, right? They want to change, and it starts with their world. They want to leave a legacy for their family. They want to have an imprint. They want to have a ripple effect on this planet.
Yep.
In order for them to do that, they have to do something different. And so I am willing, like I said earlier, to be even more uncomfortable than they are in that moment of decision.
Yep.
Whether it's sitting with them in silence and allowing them to process, whether it's pushing just a little bit, right? Pushing them towards a decision, not the decision to work with me, but towards a decision.
Right. And not to leave with an indecision.
Right. Let's get real. Like if you're saying no, then you're saying no, but don't lie to yourself into thinking that somehow tomorrow you're going to feel different because that's not likely the truth.
I know.
So just really taking my emotions off the table and being selfless in that moment and saying, you know what, I don't care how painful it is for me to have this conversation with this person.
Yep.
We're going to have this conversation. We're going to be in reality about it. I'm going to call things out. Right. And we're going to partner together.
Yep.
In this conversation. So it's not about me. If you can take that more than anything, like it's not about me. It is about them every step of the way. It is about them.
And I think the other thing, that really just sums it up, that I think we actually have not talked about yet, so this is cool, is that you are willing to get a little more uncomfortable than how uncomfortable they feel in that moment. And that you're willing to take a stand for yourself and for your clients to make a decision, yes or no, and not live in the world of indecision, because that world sucks. So I think we're going to end it with that, because that is powerful. That is awesome. Shameca, where can everybody find you?
Okay, so I hang out in Facebook, but anywhere across any social media channels, you can find me with my name, which is very hard to spell, but it's Shameca Tankerson. So on any platforms, whether it's IG or Facebook or LinkedIn, I'm under Shameca Tankerson there.
Cool.
That is where I hang out. I have an amazing Facebook group where I do lots of training and I'm teaching around high dollar sales. And teaching my clients to scale their sales up into the multiple 5 figures per month. And that's at powerplayerslive.com. So that's the places where you can find me.
Cool. Well, thank you so much, Shameca, for being here. We will be together again in about 4 weeks, so make sure to tune in right here. And if you, again, we would be grateful if you can share this, like it, post it, repost it, share it, like it, post it, because honestly, that's the only way this Facebook thing's going to work for a little while, until they maybe give me a rating of being a creator, and then then we're going to be in the movie section, Shameca. We're going to be on TV on Facebook.
That's
How cool
awesome.
would that be?
That'd be real cool.
That'd be real cool. So anyway, you guys have an amazing week. We'll see you next week. Thank you for joining us on Coffee is for Closers, and it was an honor to be here. And we'll put Shameca's links so you guys can go hang out with her too.
Sure.
We hang out together, but if you want to hang out with her sometimes, that's cool. I'll let you guys. So, thank you, Shameca, for being here. It was an honor to have you, as always, and I can't wait to meet you in person finally next week.
Next week.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.